The archetypes of ritual action. Once again the disciples questioned the apostle, saying to him, "This peace and this greeting that occur in the world, from whom did they come forth? Or likewise, the right hand that occurs in the world, it being honored by mankind, of whom is it? Or the mystery of the kiss that they embrace one another with? Or who is the one that reveals this salutation with which they make obeisance to one another? Or this laying on of hands, which an immensely great one bequeaths upon his inferior, giving him an honor and making him great, of whom is this laying on of hands?" Then he says to his disciples, "You have questioned me about these 5 lessons. Now, they are displayed in the world as miniatures, being made little, and yet indeed they are great and honored. I am the one who can reveal to you their mystery. So, these 5 signs are the mystery of the first man. He came forth with them from the eon of light. Also, when he finished his contest, he went up with these good signs. They received him into the eons of light. The first piece is the one that the gods and the angels in the land of light gave to the first man, when he comes out against the enemy. The gods and the angels were walking with him, escorting him, giving to him their peace and power, and their blessing and fortification. This is the first piece that the gods and the angels gave to the first man, as he comes forth from the eon of light. The first right hand is the one that the Mother of Life gave to the first man, when he comes out to the contest. The first kiss is this one with which the Mother of Life embraced the first man, as he separates from her, coming down to the contest. Even all the gods and the angels who are in the eons of light were making to embrace him, all of them also, and the church tutelaries, and the kinsfolk who belong to the household of his people. They were making to embrace him as he separates from them, accompanying him out, embracing him with the kiss of affection and love. The first salutation is the salutation with which the first man made obeisance, when he comes out to the depths below. He was bending his knees, making obeisance to the God of truth, and all the eons of light who belong to the household of his people, entreating them for a power to escort him, as he comes forth. The first laying on of hands is the one that the Mother of Life bequeathed upon the head of the first man. She armed him and made him mighty. She laid hands on him, and sent him to the battle. He descended. He completed his struggle with the great powers and the enmity. By these 5 signs and these 5 mysteries the first man came forth from the eons of light against the enemy. He humbled him. He was victorious against him by them. Also, when he ascended from the war, he came into the kingdom of the household of his people by these 5 mysteries. The peace with which he ascended is the peace that the summons gave to him, when it was sent forth from the Father of Life. It gave him the peace in the world of darkness. Also, that peace with which he descended is the same as the one with which he ascended from the struggle. Therefore, appropriate to the mystery of that peace, which the summons gave the first man, did this peace here and now come about. It was named and heard among the powers of the Father. Again, this second right hand is the one that the living Spirit gave the first man, when he brought him upward out from the struggle. Appropriate to the mystery of that right hand, this right hand has come about, the one that occurs in the midst of mankind, as they give it to their companions, it being honored, and, also, this second kiss is the one with which the Father of Life and the Mother of the Living embraced the first man, when he ascended from the struggle. Again, this kiss occurs among mankind, as they make to embrace their companions with it, whether then they go away from home and be far from their friends, or else if they approach one another, according to the mystery of the first man. The second salutation with which the first man made obeisance. This time to the God of truth and, the blessed eons and all the eons, the whole land of light, when the Father of Life and the Mother of the Living brought the man upward from the abyss of the struggle. Appropriate to the mystery of the second salutation, this salutation has come about, and that occurs today in the midst of mankind, as they make obeisance to one another, doing an honor to their companions. The second laying on of hands is this: when the living Spirit brought the first man upward from the war, he saved him from all the surging waves. He brought him upward, he gave him ease in the great eons of light, which belong to the household of his people. he set him firmly before the Father, the Lord of the totality. Now, when he went up before the great Father of the lights, a voice came forth to him from the heights, saying, "Make my son, my firstborn, to sit at my right-hand side, until I set all his enemies for a footstool under his feet." He received this great laying on of hands that he may become a leader of his brethren in the new eon. Again, appropriate to the mystery of the second laying on of hands, this laying on of hands has come about, the one that occurs in the midst of mankind as they lay hands on one another, the great giving authority to the lesser. These 5 mysteries and these 5 signs came about first in the divine. They were proclaimed in this world by an apostle. Mankind has been taught them, and they have instituted them in their midst, but these mysteries were not at the beginning amongst the powers of darkness. The light mind also, who comes to the world, shall come with these several marks. With these 5 lessons he shall choose his church. First, before everything else, he chooses his church with peace. And he gives the peace first to mankind, so that the person receives the peace, and becomes a child of peace. Afterwards he is elected to the faith. Now, when he may receive the peace, he shall receive the right hand and count to the right hand. Then, when he receives the right hand, the light mind shall draw him to him, and cause him to approach the church. With the right hand he receives the kiss of love and becomes a child of the church. With the kiss he shall receive salutation, and make obeisance to the God of truth. Also, he makes obeisance to the Holy Church, the hope of the faith, good works. When they will receive the peace and the right hand, the kiss and the salutation, the last of these things shall be bequeathed upon them from the right hand of charity. They too receive the laying on of hands, which will be bequeathed upon them. And they are conformed and built up in the truth, and made strong in it forever. They shall come into the light mind with these good signs, and become fulfilled people. They make obeisance and give glory to the God of truth. Once again, at the time of their coming forth, the light form shall come forth before them, and she redeems them from the darkness to the light. This light form calms the person, with the kiss and her quiet, from fear of the demons who destroy his body. By her aspect and her image the heart of the elect one, who is come forth from his body, shall be calm for him. Afterwards, the angel who holds the victory prize extends to him the right hand. And it draws him out of the abyss of his body, and accepts him in with the kiss and love. That soul shall make obeisance to its Redeemer, who is this light form. And also, at the instant when he shall be perfected and increased according to, in the household of the living ones, with the gods and the angels and all the apostles and the chosen. And he receives the crown, glory and the life forever. Concerning this I tell you, my brethren and my limbs, let you find these 5 signs in your hands, honored before each one of you. They are, the peace, the right hand, the kiss, the salutation, and the laying on of hands. I have brought this to you from the household of the living, out from the Father who sent me. Happen you know, that a great mystery, him, by these 5 signs that I have brought, you may part from the world, because you have understood about the first peace and the first right hand and the first kiss and the first salutation and the first laying on of hands. Therefore, let them find this laying on of hands being esteemed in your presence, as you give honor, and make obeisance to the teachers and the deacons and the presbyters, they whom I have laid hands on. I have bequeathed upon them the great laying on of hands, because they are set in a great mystery, the laying on of hands of the divine, which is bequeathed upon the head of the teacher. Now, whoever will reject and disdain it, and it is made nothing by him, he commits sin subject to God, with great sin, and also against me too. Still, you, my beloved ones, hasten into these 5. You, and you, fulfill at these occasions, wishes he may answer you, as he told you, that are in the storehouses of your heart, them, for he, which is set right by you, each one, listen to him. He knows every deed that you do, all of them, with your companions, this, he turns to you, and he, from you the afflictions of